पौष कृष्ण दशमी नवमी सॉरी बुधवार दिनांक 10 जानेवारी 2018 चरक चिकित्सा स्थान 18 सूत्र क्रमांक 123-124 शंखं चक्रं जलौकान् तदमृतघटं चारुदोर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यांशुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमम्भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं निखिलगदवनप्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धा मात्रेयाद्येषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दृष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापको विश्वश्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा गुणैरेतैः समुदितैः यत्कार्यं प्रतनोद्यसः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं नु प्रयतामहे सरस्वत्यै नमो यस्याः प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षमीक्षते आत्रेयं प्रथमं वन्दे आयुर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा हि सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत् प्रयच्छत् मुनिसत्तमः प्रथमं तन्त्रकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। अद्य बुधवासरः पौषकृष्ण नवमी दिनांक 10 जानेवारी 2018 चरक चिकित्सा स्थान 18 सूत्र क्रमांक 123-124 दशमूलाढके प्रस्थं मृतस्याक्ष समयः पचेत् पुष्कराव षटी बिल्व सुरसव्योष हिंगुभिः पेयानुपानं तत्पेयं कासे वातकफात्मके श्वासरोगेषु सर्वेषु कफवातात्मकेषु च दशमूलाधिकम्. So this is quite simple. दशमूलाढक प्रस्थं घृतम् अक्षसमैः पुष्करावषटी बिल्वसुरसव्योष हिंगुभिः एतानि सर्वाणि अक्षमात्राणि घृतं सिद्धं कर्तव्यं तत् पेयानुपानं पेयम् कासे वातकफात्मके श्वासरोगेषु सर्वेषु कफवातात्मकेषु च इत्यनेन तावत् सर्वेषु अन्येषु कफवातात्मकेषु विकारेषु अयमपि अर्थः तत्र सम्भाव्यते। अतः सर्वेषु श्वासरोगेषु एवं कफवातात्मकेषु अन्येषु सर्वेषु विकारेषु अपि एतत् प्रशस्तम् इति दृश्यते। तर्हि दशमूलाढके इति दशमूलस्य क्वाथ्यस्य आढकमानत्वं तेन क्वाथः क्वाथ्यसमो मतः इति वचनात् क्वाथोऽप्य आढ्यकमानो भवति। From where this has been taken, क्वाथः क्वाथ्यसमो मतः. So one part of dravya 16 times of water and reduce and two parts. This is generally, but this is something 100 grams of kvathya dravya and kvathya is also 100 milliliters, so 8 times water. That might be the thing. समूल फलपत्रायाः कंटकार्या रसाढके घृतप्रस्थं बलाभ्योष विडंग षटिचित्रकैः सौवर्चल यवक्षार पिप्पली मूल पौष्करैः वृष्टिर बृहति पथ्या यवानी दाढिमरधिभिः. So रसाढक is कंटकारी स्वरस, बलाभ्योष विडंग षट्टी चित्रक सौवर्चल यवक्षार पिप्पली मूल पौष्कर वृश्चिर बृहति पथ्या यवानी दाढिमरुद्धि. द्राक्षा पुनर्नवा चव्य दुरालभाम्ल वेतसैः शृंगी तामलकी भांगी रास्मा वक्षुरुकैः पचेत् कल्कैस्तत्सर्वकासेषु हिक्काश्वासेषु शस्यते कंटकारिकृतं एतत् व्याधि निसूदनम्. So this is quite big part. But sarvakasa hikkashvasa, main ingredient is kantakari, so it is called as kantakari ghrutam. And kapha vyadhi nisudanam, it's good for kapha vyadhi. कुलत्थरसे युक्तं वा पंचकौल श्रुतं घृतं पायेत् कफशे कासे हिक्काश्वासे पश्यते. So this is simple. कुलत्थरसे युक्त or पंचकौल श्रुत. So just kulatha kwatha or kulatha yusha to be prepared, and along with that nigruta is to be given. Kafajakasa, hikka and shwasa. Anyway, kulatha is a simple and good dietary medicine. Only it is pittakara. कंटकारी कृते बलादि कल्कस्य मिलित्वा कडवमानत्वम्. धूमास्तानेव दद्याच्च ये प्रोक्ता वातकासिनां कोशातके फलान् मध्यं पिबेद्वा मनस्समनश्शीलम्. So whatever dhuma have been said for vatakasa, they should be used for kapakasa as well. Koshatake phalan madhyam pipedva samanashilam. So koshatake phalamadhya along with manashila. This is dhumapana. There is katu koshatake as well. Tikta. Tamaka kapakase tu sachit pittanubandhajaha pittakasa kriyan tatra yathavastham prayojet. There is tamaka in kapakasa due to pittanubandha. Then pittakasa kriya should be used. Yathavastham prayojet as per condition. Vate kafanubandhe tu kuryat kafaharin kriyam. Pittanubandhayor vata kafayoh pittanashini. So anubandha is more important. So vata is kafanubandha, but treatment required is kafahari. And if vata kapha are predominant, but pittanubandha is there, then pittanashini. Ardre virukshanam shushke snigdham vata kapatma. So in ardra kapha virukshana, so there is a tradition of using this dala or futani while going to bed, which is quite ruksha. And after eating that, you don't have to drink water. Water is prohibited. So this does the shoshana or virukshana of the kapha. Shushke snigdham. As compared to that, if it is shushka kasa, then snigdha. Vata kaphatmake kase. Annapana kafache sapitte tikta sani. This is annapana for vata kaphatmata. Kasa. And for kafaja with pitta, it is tikta sanyuta. तमकः कासोपद्रवरूपः कफानुबन्धोऽस्य इति कफानुबन्धः तस्मिन् कफानुबन्धे पवने पित्तानुबन्धयोः इत्यत्रापि वातकफयोः अनुबन्धत्वं पित्तस्य तु प्राधान्यम्. I don't agree with this. Actually, vata kapha are the main doshas and pitta anubandha. Pittam anubandham yasya tayoho vata kaphayoho. Like that will be the अन्वय. So पित्तस्य प्राधान्यं नास्ति, किन्तु पित्तनाशिनी क्रिया तत्र कर्तव्या. आर्द्रे इति तनुकफे. Ardra. So liquefied in that way it is tanu or something like that. This particularly when there is more rukshatva, one has to go for snigdha, and if there is more snigdhatva, one has to go for ruksha. And this balance of snigdha and ruksha has to be done. Vaidya B.P. Nanal had said about this long back when we were studying in Tirukkayur Mahavidyalaya. I might have told this before, I may just repeat. Particularly in pravahika, this local dosha, sthanik dosha is vata, and it brings the kapha into pakvashaya. So vayu prabhuddho nritam balasan dudatyat astat ahitasanas. So vata is ruksha and kapha is snigdha. And when they have a kind of samsarga kind of thing, the combination of this ruksha and snigdha leads to sthanatva. Now, when we are preparing a dough, we start with wheat flour and pour water into it, and then start working with our hands. Now, if the proportion of water and flour is proper, then it is neither sticky nor loose or something like that, or not too dry. And then you can go for making chapatis. If there is more clay, the more water, then it becomes sticky, and you may have to add flour to it. Or if it is too dry, then you may have to add water. And even when it is perfect, then also in the end you put some oil so that whatever is sticking to your hand can be removed and mixed up with the dough. So this Nigdha and Ruksha concept, these are two opposite qualities of Kapha and Vata. And in Samsarga they work together, and so there can be sticky cup, which either you have to dry it so that it becomes separate, or you have to give some more snigdha so it doesn't stick and come out. Generally, you will be giving churna etc. with honey, and externally you apply oil and give fermentation. So this works in harmony, and the kapha may get liquefied with snehan and swedan, and it will be expelled out, and either or shaman will be done on time. So like this, Snigdha and Ruksha, they have this peculiar property of creating sthanatva, and this might be applicable in varieties of things. When we say in arteriosclerosis that the lipids they get saturated in the inner walls of the vessels or something like that. So again, these are snigdha, and there might be some interaction with the walls of the vessels, internal walls of the vessels, and that sticks to that. So we have to do sotomukha vishodhana or something like that, and then these would get separated, kind of thing. But unlike this, what happens when Guru Lagu comes together, when Ushna Shita comes together, when Chalasnita and Sthira comes together? These are controversial things. So, Vruddhi Samane Sarvesham Viparite Viparyeha, this is the common principle. And when the Pratidvandvi gunas come together, like what we see, Snigdha and Ruksha, Sheet and Ushna, etc., etc., Viruddha Guna Sanyoga Salpan कीजिए. One which is more or more in quantity, more strong, will conquer the other one. That is a general sutra again. Mhm. But will it give rise to something like this, Tamatva, etc.? This is still a question. Generally, when we have Shita and Ushna together, and say we have hot water and we pour cold water to make it lukewarm or tolerable or something like that. Immediately there is mixing and it reaches a temperature in between hot and cold, which is pleasant or something like that. We don't observe any adverse effect as such. Guru and Lagu coming together or something like that. What will be happening? And as such, in Vata and Kapha Samsarga, only Shita Guna is common. All other gunas are just opposite to each other. Kapha is Guru, Vata is Lagu. Kapha is Snigdha, Vata is Ruksha. So, only common guna is Shita Guna or something like that. Still, they have a combination. There is a yoga of Vata and Kapha Samsarga. And what it might be exhibiting, that is still interesting as such. So there is no much discussion about these aspects, this kind of samsargas. Or even in Sandipata, it is still a different issue. Because there is Ushna and Shita as well. And what happens when we use opposite guna, aushadha or ahara dravya, etc., etc. So if we are using anything Ushna Virya, that will be acting against this Vata Kapha. But how to judge about Snigdha Ruksha when we are dealing with Vata Kapha as a samsarga? If it is only Vata, we can go for Snigdha. If it is only Kapha, we can go for Ruksha. But when it is Vata Kapha samsarga, and in pravahika, Sthani is the Vata and Agantu is the Kapha or something like that. In Amashaya Gata Vata, it might be just opposite. Agantum Shamayat Dosham Sthaninam Pratikrityava. This is the principle mentioned in Ashtanga Vidya. Sthaninam Pratikritya Agantum Shamayat Dosham. You have to treat the Sthani and then treat the Agantum or something. So, Snigdha Purva and Ruksha Purva Sweda. That is one. So, if it is Pakvashaya, then Snigdha Purva. If it is Amashaya, then Ruksha Purva Sweda is given. But then there is a va, strong va. So, it can just be opposite. And ultimately, which dosha is Balwan, that we have to see. And this Balwan dosha, strong dosha, should be treated first, and then we turn towards the second dosha or something like that. So, anyway, this is much more clumsy as such. And this Vata Pitta Samsarga, Pitta Kapha Samsarga, and Vata Kapha Samsarga. These are three Samsargas. Comparatively, there can be other gunas also, which are common in Vata Kapha, Vata Pitta or Pitta Kapha. But for Vata Kapha, only Shita Guna is common and other gunas are just opposite to each other. Still, they combine and still they create samsarga disease or something. So, How to deal with these diseases is headache, truly speaking. And how to deal with Sandipata is still more headache or something like that. No sound. So, one has to see into that, look into that. And this in general, how the doshas, which are just opposite, come together and do work in harmony, either in maintenance of health or for creating a disease. This is interesting. So there is a diversity in the gunas and karmas of whatever we observe in universe. And either we go to trigunas, which are also quite different from each other, or Panchamahabhutas, which are also quite different from each other. Still, the gunas come together to form the universe, the Panchamahabhutas come together to form the universe. And when they are in harmony, they maintain the universe. And when there is a disruption, maybe in the form of earthquakes or tsunami or like that, or eruption in the form of Jwalamukhi, volcanoes. Then also, we see in the universe that these are three forces, those are coming together. विसर्गादान विक्षेपे सोमसूर्यानिला यथा धारयन्ति जगद्देहं प्रपृत्तानिलास्तथा. So, having opposite characteristics, but still coming together and maintain the world. And when there is disharmony, they explode it or something like that. So this has to be very well understood. And the combination of gunas coming together is more important. And whether they will nullify each other, whether they will give rise to something else, whether they will enhance each other or something like that, that is to be very well understood. And संसर्गसन्निपातश्च this is important in this respect as such. So anyway, this is a sort of diversion. विरुद्ध गुणचिकित्सेनं उपशय मिळत नसल्यास रक्तदृष्टीचा विचार करावा स्निग्ध वृक्षादी. That is still another aspect. So, शीतोष्ण स्निग्ध वृक्षादिरूपक्रान्ताश्च ये गताः सम्यक् साध्यान सिद्ध्यन्ति तेषु प्रकोपजाः तेषु श्राव्यतं रक्तम् उद्रिक्तं वेदयेत् शिराम्. This has been the principle. So generally, we will be using opposite chikitsa. विपरीत गुणैर्देश मात्रा कालोपपादितैः विकारे विनस देशजैर् विनिवर्तन्ते विकाराः साध्यसम्मताः, something like that. This is a general sutra. So if it is arising from Shita, we have to use Ushna. If it is arising from Ushna, we have to use Shita. This is a general common principle. But when a patient doesn't respond to this and the disease continues or something like that, then it has to be understood that it is Rakta Prakopaja. And then Shiraveda should be done. And there are sutras like this in Vagbhata and Charaka, etc. So what is the role of Rakta in such a situation? And how the diseases do not respond to just opposite gunadravyas or something like that. So this is still we have to think of how this would be happening or something. And that is why Rakta Mokshana is at most important, and it is half or even full treatment as per text. So when the doshas take shelter in the Rakta, it has some different characteristic, and it may not react, the dosha may not react as it would react normally. If it is arising from Sheta, it would react to Ushna. If it is arising from Ushna, it would react to Sheta or something like that. Generally, in procedures like Vamana Virechana Basti, we are taking dosha out. But in Rakta Mokshana, along with dosha, we are also taking the Rakta Dhatu out. So this is typical. We are separating the dosha and taking it out in woman virachan basti. But in procedures like Rakta Mokshana, even in Nasya, we are taking the dosha out. But in Rakta Mokshana, we are also taking the dhatu out. So this Ashraya Shrayi Bhava of dosha and Rakta particularly has some role to play in not responding to Shita Ushna Snigdha Ruksha kind of treatment. And anyway, it has to be expelled out in that particular fashion. No doubt, there are Vireka and Upavasa also treatments for Dushta Rakta, and that also works or something like that. In cancer, can we think Rakta Mokshana? I do think in certain cases, particularly oral cancers with lot of swelling and pain, they do respond to leeches. Another case of malignant melanoma, a big wound oozing and having very foul smell, etc., etc. So that also responded well to leech application. Certain extent, even in breast cancer, when there are wounds, this may leeches do help. But if the rakta is also udrikta, it is more in quantity or something like that, then it has to be taken out. Surprisingly, in Rakta Pitta there is udriktatva of rakta, still Rakta Mokshan is not advised. For Urdhva Rakta Pitta, Virechana, and for Adhava Rakta Pitta, Vamana has been indicated, but no Rakta Mokshan. Even though there is Vruddhi of Rakta and it is trying to get out of the body, still there is no Rakta Mokshan. And on the contrary, in other diseases which are Rakta Prakopaja, may it be Visarpa, may it be Kushta, may it be something else. Rakta Mokshan is indicated. And we have to take the dosha out or something like that. So in such a scenario, it is mostly the Tivrigata dosha which are more difficult to bring back into kosha and expel them out. So Shakhanusari Raktasya Sovasekat Prashamya. Those are Shakhanusari or something like that. And Shakha Raktadaya Stvakcha. Raktadi and Tvak, these are the Shakhas. So more convenient way to expel doshas from Shakha It's Sirabhyata or something like that, Rakta Moksha. But still, in Rakta Moksha, we are also pulling out the blood, allowing the blood to go out. And this is the dhatu as such. So generally, dhatu is not disturbed, but in these cases, the to break basic samprapti of cancer, as it is mainly on dhatu stara. Well, I have this in my mind for many years now, and I have practically started using Rakta Pachaka in every patient. I'm not going for Rakta Mokshana as such, but I am going for Rakta Pachaka. And I have prepared Sukshma Rakta Pachaka with Hiraka and Sushira and Rakta Pachaka. So, giving bhavanas of that. And this I am practically using for every patient now. And Rasayana Churna also I am using for every patient. So Samashatam Jivati Krishna Keshaha Shanta Vikara Dukha. One of the important Falashruti of this is Shanta Vikara Dukha. And Klesha Dharmai Dharmai Ratapto or something like that. So he doesn't have any Klesha. And Shanta Vikara Dukha. So I started using Rasayana practically in every patient. Since this is a disease associated with dhatus, all diseases which are associated with dhatus, they have Rakta Mokshana as one of the important treatment. Sarvani Kushtani Savatani Sapittani Slashleshmani Sakrutani Sakrimini Chabon or something like that. So in many cases we just find Rakta is also associated. And if we see the Vidishonitiya Adhyay, no person will be free of Rakta Dushti. Kale Chanava Sechana, this is also one of the important things. Sharad Kala Subhavacha, as per Sharad Kala Subhava, also there is Visheshan of Rakta. And the whole list of food material, etc. This is very important. So can you explain with Sukshmikaran for all? 6x Sukshmikaran for all. You have to take one part and add 9 parts of glucose. It is controversial whether to use glucose or Bapu Nanan was using tapioca, but it's a starch. Sugar is more easily assimilable or something like that. And it stays for a prolonged period. Then make a trituration for 3 hours. Then take one part of that and again add 10 parts of 9 parts of sugar. This is second X now. Again take one part of that second X and take 9 parts of sugar. So if it is 100 milligrams of Hiraka initially, 1x will be 1 gram, 2x will be 10 gram, 3x will be 100 gram, 4x will be 1 kilo, 5x will be 10 kilo, and 6x will be 100 kilo. From 100 milligram, we are getting 100 kg of Sukshma here. So even 100 milligram is enough for 2-3 generations to practice. If it is 100 kilo of Hiraka or something like that. Hiraka, Sukshma Hiraka or something like that. And even then the dose I use is very small. Main purpose behind this is it gets potentized and the properties are enhanced as per homeopathy principle. But my main purpose is this heavy metal and other things, any patient can take your sample to any lab and say that it is containing lead and other things, etc., etc. So I have come across few experiences like that. So it's better to be safe, and the quantum that is required is very less, and you can prepare up to 4x, up to 10 gram or 100 gram or something like that. And then, as per need, so we started 100 milligram, 1 gram, 10 gram, 100 gram. Like, if you have 10, I made a mistake or something like that. 100 milligram, 1 gram, 10 gram, 100 gram, 1 kg, and then 10 kg. It reaches 10 kg, not 100 kg, but 10 kg or something. So last two operations you do as per your need, but you keep bottles in your clinic, 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x and 6x you do whenever there is a requirement or something like that. So there is going to be scarcity of medicines. Now very few people are using Ayurveda from DMS graduates. And so we have sufficient medicines available. But when we think of whole society started using Ayurveda, or all BMS graduates using Ayurveda or something like that, there will be scarcity of natural resources. So better to emphasize on more on these aspects and make fortifications or something like that. Bhavana, giving bhavana, increasing the potency of the drug, and thus minimize the dose or something like that. That will be great as such. Also to minimize metastasis, as dushta dhatu dosha are following the rakta in the rakta and agre vahati dushta or something like that. Agre vahati dushtam is peculiar. So rakta is one of the ways for transportation or for forming metastasis of cancer cells. So only thing is this is not the only way. Even adjacent tissue also may get vitiated, and lymph node is yet another way in which the cancer cells migrate from one side to another side. How to think about lymph nodes is our lymphatic system in Ayurvedic perspective is an issue. So I'm also struggling with this, and it is quite difficult to hold on what might be the way to think about lymph in Ayurveda, and how to counteract or something like that when there is a spread through lymph nodes. Now the lymph nodes are barriers, and they have this WBCs, etc. And phagocytosis might be there for any foreign body or any microorganism. And that is why we have swelling when in the groin region or in the axilla when there is an infection or something. The same might be true for cancer, that these lymph nodes get involved. They try to fight against these cancer cells. And when they are defeated, there is swelling. The cancer cells start growing or something like that. And they form a lump. So basically it has to deal with immunity system. So if we are able to wake up the immunity system and allow the WBCs or other cells to recognize cancer cells and kill them or something like that, what they say, phagocytosis, etc. We'll be able to conquer the spread through lymph nodes. That is one aspect. Ultimately, it comes to rasayana treatment. So, when we are using Shergatabhyasa Rasayananam or Pipali Rasayana or Chavanprash or Guduchi, etc., etc., so varieties of Rasayanas that we use, that should be helping the body tissues as such and strengthening the lymphatic system and not allowing the cancer cells to spread. So this is one way. So at one hand we deal with the Rakta Dhatu as such and maybe I started using Rakta Pachaka in all cases. If the person is strong enough, we may go for Rakta Mokshana as such. And as per strength, we may use less quantity of Rakta. But ultimately, it is a Dhatu. So, if there is more Raktakshaya or something like that, then that can lead to disaster. So, one has to keep the balance. Cancer is apatarpanothavika, so santarpana is needed. Shodhana is not really a good choice. Only when the doshas are very much in quantity and as patient is strong, then only we go for shodhana. Right, right? Cancer patient, not for them. In cancer patient. So, Agravati Dushta, this is peculiar. So, it would be reaching other dhatus or something like that. And there is representation of everything in Rakta Dhatu, that is Tasyashmana Dravo Dhatu Dhato Dhato Prasichyate. Svidyatastena Samruddhim Bhuya Sarvadhigachyate. This is in Sampraptya Praptapitta. So other dhatus may get liquefied with the heat of the rakta and may get mixed with the rakta. That means that there is an approach for other dhatus into the rakta directly. Now conventional medicine emphasizes on the fact that blood circulates in the whole body, it takes oxygen to the tissues and takes back carbon dioxide from the tissues, and this is brought in lung and then gaseous exchange takes place, etc., etc. So there is a direct connection of the body tissues with rakta according to conventional medicine, and we also have a direct connection, so to say. So jivana is the karma of rakta dhatu. And Collector sir used to say that the normal lifespan of a dhatu will depend on rakta. If the rakta is proper, then the dhatu will have proper lifespan. And if it is dying early or something, then the jivana karma is less. And when they say jivaniya aushadakshira rasadhyas tatra vishesham, particularly for osha, it has something to do with normalcy of the dhatus or maintenance of dhatus. Nishpadyante yato bhava vidadeya samshaya. So Rakta, Oja, and Rasa, Rasatmakam Mahanti Oja, that is also associated with Ojas. And Futsal Cancer used to use Shatavari, Bala, Guruchi, etc. In many cases. Even I also use. I have Patnamishan, Ananta, Bala, Shatavari, etc. medicines. As combination. Now, Pichilo Jivano Balya. Pichila Guna is particularly Jivana and Balya. And all these have Pichila Guna. Shatavari, Bala, Guruchi, these are all Pichila. When we are making Kalpa, we can definitely see the Pichilatva of that. And that is Jivana, that is Balya, or something like that. So in cancer patients also, Guruchi is Rasayana, Guruchi is Pichila, Shatavari is Rasayana. Gokshura, we don't feel that much Pichilatva, but Bendi for that matter, lady's finger, has a very good this Pichila Guna or something. So this might also be helping in cancer patients later. And second thing, while preparing the sabji from Bendi, it might be worthwhile to maintain the Pichila. We generally have roasted bhendi and in which we try to dye up the pitch. But there is another way of preparing sabji with guda and chincha of tamarind that maintains the pichilatva. Many people don't like it, but still that would be a good way to have पिच्चीला हो पण तरी त्यातलं चिकटपणा राहतो त्याला बुळबुळीतपणा राहतो चिकटपणापेक्षा सो एनिवे किती वेळ खल करायचा प्रत्येक वेळी 3 तास 3 hours so 1x 3 hours 3x 2x 3 hours like that as Visha transforms from one kala to next kala is cancer spreads like that if it is so Vishaghan Chikitsa also can be applied that is true. So we try to use Vishaghan Chikitsa. Anyway, this is important in two ways. Particularly pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and tobacco. These are poisons. And when we say poison, it is against Ojo Dashaguna or something like that. Ojas and Visha are opposite to each other. The very basic concept of using milk as diet. It has many reasons as such. It is Ojovardhaka acting against Visha. So it might be the Visha from the pesticides or chemical fertilizers or tobacco or other chemicals that are in use. It might be the chemotherapy being used, which is also a poison or something like that. It works against that. It is Shukra and Ojo Vardhaka that is most important aspect. Milk alone. And since it is Rasayana and Vajikarana both, when we ask them to go for milk boiled with gold, it has both kinds of effects, Rasayana and Vajikarana. So it has multifold or varieties of uses, and that is why I arrived at only milk diet. Now, those who try to follow it and properly really get good results, there is no doubt. But those who are hesitant and feel that no, I don't get other tastes, etc., etc., then that might be problematic. But as such, milk and ghee are very good for this purpose, and that is why I am trying to emphasize on milk diet. So, when we are using guruchi, when we are using shatavari, etc., etc., this again, as I said, it's a jivana property due to this pichila guna, and we are not paying much more attention really to uh, gunas as such. There should be a good discussion how to use different kinds of gunas in different kinds of diseases or for doshas. Yes. Okay. Rasik has provided some analysis of gunas in his Nigantus. I have not seen it, but he has provided. And when the two opposite gunas come together, what happens? This is more interesting. Observe. I was really fascinated with the Upoddhata of Dravya Guna Shastra written by Vima Gopte, Nashik. And it was short booklet at that time. And he had lot of discussion on this Guna, etc. Dravya Guna Karma. I'm not aware, I have not read his book, but he was not a practitioner as such. And more of academic purpose. But then without practice, it is very difficult. So let us keep on thinking about this. And Sapit, we all started from the Samsarga and Sannipata as such, how they combine together and still having opposite properties and still creating some work or something. In today's chemistry or physics, when I was in inter science, I had asked a question to our physics professor that if protons all are positive, how they are united and they stay together or something like that. And electrons are whirling around. He was a good fellow, and he said that is why there should be some binding force because these are the positive ions should have repulsion in between them. But in spite of that repulsion, they are staying together. So there should be some binding force, and that is really is atomic energy. And in uranium and other things, this can be broken and released. That is why the atom bomb and atomic energy is what we call. So this was a good answer as such. But there are so many elements, and there is a binding force like this. How this phenomena has occurred or something like that. So anyway, this is wild thinking, and if we understand the nature very well, we may understand living beings. If we understand living beings, we may understand the nature. लोके विततम आत्मानं लोकम चात्मनि पश्यतः परावर दृश्यो लोके सत्यापत्ति प्रवर्तते something. So I am spread in the universe, and the whole universe is within me, something like that. If we really understand the simile, Purushayam Loka Samvida, then you really understand the philosophy of Ayurveda. So anyway, I think we can conclude today and continue tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I'm going to be out of station till Sunday. We'll have lecture on Monday and Tuesday, and Satra in anyway. Satra, 17 and 18. I'm again out of station. So then in 19 and 20, that should be fine. So we meet on Monday, 15th and 16th, and then 19 and 20. 1920 we go for Sushruta. That is what I feel. So Monday, Tuesday again we'll go for Charakam. Okay. So we conclude today and continue on Monday. आयुर्वेदप्रकाण्डो निगदितैः हि शल्यतन्त्रप्रधानः शिष्येभ्यः शाश्वतोऽयं निखिलजनकृपा व्याप्तचित्तेन येन आयुर्वेदस्य वाञ्छन् पुनरपि भुवने काञ्च सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठां श्रेष्ठं धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रणमति च सदा वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् विरम्यते व्याख्यानव्यापारात् श्वः सोमवासरे पुनरपि मिलिष्यामः। अस्तु, श्वः।